algebra students, Mr. Lawrence here. We're going to learn how to graph absolute value equations. This is actually really easy. In fact, the first couple I do, I'm going to do the hard way to help you discover the easy way. Point out some things because right now it's going to seem somewhat magical. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to make a t-table. Here's my equation. And I'm going to plug in -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Now, when you learn the right way to do this, the easy way to do this, we're not going to make t-tables for it. The t-table is just a tool to help us discover. So I'm going to plug -2 in for x. Take the absolute value of -2, I'm going to get +2. And I plug -1 in, I get the absolute value of -1, which is 1. Plug 0 in, I get 0. Absolute value of 1 is 1. Absolute value of 2 is 2. And what ends up happening is I get a nice little V kind of thing going on here. It's like two rays coming out of a vertex. And it goes like this and like that, and I'm done. Now, there's no shading because it's an equation. If I had a greater than or less than, I could go ahead and shade, use a test point, etc. But no shading on this one, so that's what it looks like. And I'm going to suggest to you that all absolute value equations are going to look something like that. So let's take a look at this one, and again I'm going to use a t-table, and this time I'm going to plug in, I think I'm still going to plug in 0, -1, -2, 1, and 2. Alright, I put -2 in, I get the absolute value of -2 is 2, 2 plus 5 is 7. Absolute value of -1, 1 plus 5, 6. Absolute value of 0 is 0 plus 5. Absolute value of +1, 1 plus 5 is 6. And absolute value of 2 is 2 plus 5 is 7. And so I end up getting, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And notice it looks like the same exact equation, only the vertex is moved. You're wondering what the vertex is. The vertex is either the highest or the lowest point. In layman's terms, it's the bottom of the V. It's right here. This is the vertex. And the vertex in this equation is found at 0, 5. Hey, kind of like a y-intercept, isn't it? Yeah, the vertex in this equation, there's like a +0 there. And look, the vertex is at the origin or the point 0, 0. Is that a coincidence? I think not. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Now in this one, I'm going to plug some different x values in. I'm going to plug in -7, -6, -5, -4, -3. Now remember, I know something. That's why I chose these numbers. You probably would never pick these particular 5 numbers to put in, but I'm just trying to help you discover something. All right, I put -7 in here. -7 plus 5 is 2. Absolute value of 2 is 2. I put -6 in. I get -1. Absolute value of -1 is 1. I put -5 in. I get 0. Absolute value is 0. If I put -4 in, I get +1. Absolute value of 1 is 1. If I put -3 in for x, I get -3 plus 5. Negative is +2. Absolute value of 2 is 2. And so I'm at -5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm at -4, I'm up at 1. -3, I'm at 2. And negative there. I'm getting the same exact V. Again, the vertex has moved. That's the only difference, right? That's the only difference. There you go. It's the same V. And notice the vertex in this case is at -5, 0. Notice it's what makes that 0. The inverse of +5 is the x-coordinate of the vertex. And there's like a +0 on the end, and that's where the 0 is coming from. So I'm not even going to make a t-table for this one. I've got a t-table made, and I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to see if, first of all, I can find my vertex. If I can find my vertex, this might be super easy to do. Well, I remember the y-coordinate of the vertex is sitting right there. Okay, the x-coordinate of the vertex, I need the inverse of the number inside the absolute value. I need what makes x minus 2 equal to 0. If I solve for x, I get x equals 2. There's my vertex. My vertex is going to be at the point 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now, there's no number in front of here, so I'm going to rise 1, run 1, rise 1, run 1. And then I'll go back and I'll go rise 1, back 1, rise 1, back 1, and there you go. There's the same exact V, only the vertex has shifted. And it's going to look something like that. All right, tell you what, let me give you one just to kind of think about here. Get a graph out here, give you this equation. Y is going to equal the absolute value of x plus 1 minus 6. See if you can figure out where you think the vertex is going to be on this one. If you can figure out the vertex, this is cake. Well, if you're ready to see the solution, the vertex is what makes this 0. The x-coordinate of the vertex is negative 1. The y-coordinate of the vertex is this number, minus 6. This graph, this vertex occurs at negative 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 6 right there. And since there's no number in front of the absolute value, I use a slope of 1 for the right half and a slope of negative 1 for the left half. And I am ready to draw my V. There you go. That's your lesson for today. Mr. Lawrence signing off. Good night, everybody.